Next from Springfield, from the Human Trafficking Awareness Ceremony, we talked to Brenda Myers-Powell, a decades-long victim of human trafficking herself, about the spread of human sex trafficking in Illinois and ways the state can combat it. This runs about 10 minutes.
Brenda Myers-Powell, thanks for joining us on the Illinois Channel. You were here speaking at the Human Awareness Trafficking Ceremony. What should people know about this issue?
Well, people should know that this issue is a problem right here in our own state in Illinois, and that there needs to be more focus on it, more resources behind it. So that's what they should know, that it's horrific. They should know that there's over 20,000 young men, women, young boys, girls, and women trafficked on a daily basis in our state. They should know that this is horrific. They should know that every time their child gets on the internet, that there's a possibility that they can be approached by a trafficker.
And when let's just start with the terminology. When we say human trafficking, what do we actually mean?
We mean the trafficking of individuals who are sold for sex, and people profit off the sex that they sell.
And are they held against their will, or are they voluntarily doing it?
You know, when you say against their will, you got to look at the different elements that these traffickers use in order to possess a young lady's mind. Not only, say for instance, I have her body, but then I possess her mind, because they're manipulative, they're brainwashers, they coerce these young ladies and boys into these type of things. And if a person doesn't have things in their life, it's pretty much easy for them to be manipulated and coerced into human trafficking. And a lot of people think, well, why don't they just leave? Why do they stay? Well, when a person has your mind, he has all of you. He has the complete you. So it's harder for a person to make a decision then. And if they're not making any decisions on their own, they can't do anything.
Now, if we might back up a bit. You, during a speech today, you told a little bit about your own background. Maybe we can get just a little shorter version, but what was your own experience?
My own experience was raised in a family where I was abused. And then having other people come in and abuse me also by molestation and sexual molestation. Not loving myself after that, and being kidnapped actually for the first time in human trafficking. And after that, being brainwashed and feeling like this was all that I was worth and all that I could do. And stayed in there many years. I've been shot 5 times. I've been stabbed over 13 times. Trafficking is very violent, and there are so many things that can happen to a girl. And in that time, I just thought that was the only thing that I was worthy for or good enough to do. And it took a lot to develop me and raise me out of that. It took a village to raise me again, to become the woman that I am today. And that's what we need, a village around these young people that are being trafficked. We need a whole village around them of resources to pull them out of that.
That's a good point. So I want to get back to that point, but first, how long were you stuck in the trafficking, and how did you escape?
I was in the trafficking for 25 years, and when you say escaped, I was actually rescued after going to the hospital, being drugged 6 blocks by my last customer, and going into the hospital and being spoken to by a doctor who cared, a doctor who was very different from the rest of the doctors, who just didn't treat my body, who was concerned about what was going on with me. And she gave me some information to go to a social service place, and where I got directed to a place that was called Genesis House, ran by Edwina Gately. It was an awesome opportunity for me, and this place had all the services that I needed.
And to look at you, to hear you, one would never know your past history. So obviously your rescue worked successfully. What can we do as individuals, as a state, with law enforcement or even citizens, to rescue those who are now stuck in that situation that you were in?
Well, thank you for that. We're saying that I don't look like, because just as Senator Toy Hutchison just stated, I'm not what happened to me. So That's why I don't look like that happened to me, because I'm not what happened to me. I'm so much better today. And what we can do as individuals in order to fight human trafficking is be a part of some type of human trafficking organization that works on this issue, that can educate you on this issue, that can give you tools to work on this issue. Vote for the different bills that we have in order to help victims of human trafficking out here. Talk to your legislators, talk to your senators, and tell them that this is an issue that you're concerned about, that you're interested in, so that we can get everybody aboard and we can fight this terrible issue that is almost an infestation to our children.
First of all, I should ask, is there a website if people want more information?
For the Dreamcatcher Foundation, thedreamcatcherfoundation.org. Please go to that website, and any information that you'd like, we could help you with.
And I suppose if they want to make a donation to carry on your services, they can do that.
They can definitely go to the Dreamcatcher Foundation, where they can donate online if they want to. And we also have opportunities for volunteers. So please go to the Dreamcatcher Foundation, thedreamcatcherfoundation.org, and feel free to donate. We need your help.
And just before we close out, so what do you hope to accomplish by speaking at the Capitol today? You've had a number of powerful people speaking with you, state senators, the state comptroller. What could the state do to free people from human trafficking?
Well, first, my thing is letting the legislators know that we're doing a great job with the informative part of letting people know about this. Now let's do a better job with the services and the resources that we need. After people find out about this and everybody knows the issue, we need resources now to help the victims, because down at the bottom are the victims. So we need resources down there in order to take these women off the street. We're passing laws that are awesome laws to help these young ladies. Now we need the resources after we get them, before they go back to the trafficker.
And, I mean, do we know where these people are being held? Are there areas of town? Can we send in the police to pull them out of these homes, or what?
It can be anywhere. It could be at the next door at your neighbor's house. It can be any place. There is not a direct place that we know that they are, but we know they're
So they would
over.
show up and maybe have a girl with them, and so it's not just like the customers come to one home.
No.
Is that how-
And you probably would never find out, because human trafficking is a $6 billion industry, and that industry doesn't project itself on the street corners of our state. You know, a lot of it's indoors. But what you can look at, if a place has too much traffic going into it, if there's a lot of women going into this type of place. If you're in the medical profession, you can probably notice that a girl is showing up at the ER with bruises and broken bones and different things going on with her. You might want to, try to find out if she needs services, if she needs some type of help. They show up everywhere. And one of the things that you can do is learn from maybe a human trafficking organization how you can actually know who these women are. It doesn't take us telling you today over here, but you have to learn.
And last question, one of the things I think the spokesman from the Prosecutors Association was saying, they're going to have training for prosecutors, and I think he said police officers and all. What is it that you would want those individuals to learn, so that, and how might that change the reality?
Well, I'd like them to know, our police officers and our prosecutors, things, that the women are the victims, the boys are the victims, the people that are trafficked are the victims. The real people that we should be going after is the demand side, the people that are purchasing this. One thing I learned is that there's a demand and there's a supply. Okay, without the supply, there'd be no demand, because we wouldn't have anyone for anybody to pick up. We wouldn't. So if we get rid of the demand, there would be no supply. You see what I'm saying? I went to the store to get some caramel, because I make a real good caramel cake, right? I went to get this caramel, and I asked the grocer, I said, why don't you carry this anymore? He said, because there's no demand for it. So it seemed to me that we're going after the wrong people right now. Instead of going after the victims, we need to be going after the demand.
Are the people that hold people and do this, are these American gangs? Are these foreigners coming in and running these gangs? Are the victims all American kids, or are they importing people from other countries?
There are children. They're our children. They're American
What age group
girls.
are we talking about?
From early as 12 years old. As 12 years old. I also work for the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and Sheriff Tom Dart understands this issue very well. He himself is one of the law enforcement agencies that goes after the demand side and understands that these girls are victims. So what we're doing today, and he's making a huge difference in that area, making a huge difference. So we give services to the women, the victims, and he goes after the demand side, and he hits them in the pockets where they need to be hit. And future, maybe they will hit them with jail time and different things like that, because when a grown man picks up a 12-year or 15 or 16-year-old girl, whose fault is it now? Whose fault is it now? She's a child.
All right, well, Brenda Myers Powell, thank you for joining us on the Illinois Channel.
Thank you so much.